Hello, this is wmpyr. I'm here to make an extra long video for you guys because of the coronavirus situation. Okay, so let's all keep training and stay fit. Okay, so let's get started right away. The first thing that I want to go through is the 4 ranges of combat right here. So the 4 ranges of combat is very important in the way that I teach Filipino martial arts. We have long range, medium range, close range, and ground range. Okay, so those are the 4 ranges. And how are we going to utilize that? Well, pretty much the idea is that any combat self-defense situation, any kind of physical altercation is going to occur in those 4 ranges, in one of those ranges. Okay, so the first thing is you need to identify where are you within those 4. The first one we're going to start off with is the long range. Okay, so in long range, the idea is we want to be hitting them on the hand. Okay, so we're going to be moving around and just be going boom, like this, boom, like that, boom, boom, and just moving around like so. Okay, so the idea here is you could hit their hand in 4 different directions. Okay, I'm going to be using the top part of the knuckle right here to hit this way, boom, and then downwards this way using the second knuckle, boom, okay, the second joint of your finger right here, and then of course left, same idea with the second knuckles, and then this way, which is to the right. So it's basically up, down, left, and right. Okay, and what I want you guys to do as a warm-up is just move around like this, like you're boxing. Okay, you want to stay mobile because a moving target is harder to hit. So move around, and then you're just going to be going boom. Just going to be throwing shots. Boom, 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 like that. Okay. So I want you guys to do that for about 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes is 1 round in boxing. It's a good exercise. Your average song is roughly 3 minutes. So put on a song and then do that for the duration of the song. If that's too much, just go 1 minute. Okay, or go at a nice and easy pace. All right, so go ahead and stop the video and please get some exercise that way. Okay, so let me move on to the next one, which is medium range. So in medium range, long range means he's too far away to hit me. We have too much distance. All right, medium range is when boom, he can hit me, boom, he can hit me, I'm gonna get knocked out. So right here in medium range, this is too close for me to try to be hitting him on the hand that way. So instead, I'm going to use my forearm, you see. So if he's trying to hit me over here, boom, I can use the forearm to hit his arm and block at the same time, okay? So just like the punch that we just showed you right now, the knuckle sandwich, we could do the same idea with the forearm, 4 different directions. We can go up, down, left and right, up, down, right, and left, okay, using the forearm. So same idea, okay, for 3 minutes, I want you to be moving around just like this, just loosen up the body, and like that, like so, okay, so please have fun with that. And the next one is close range. So in close range, the idea is now we're close enough that this person can grab me. And I don't mean they just grab my wrist like this. I mean it's a solid grab. Okay, something really solid. Okay, so that's close range. So in this situation, what we're going to do now is we're going to be using the elbow. And it's the same idea as what we've been doing. We could go in 4 different directions as well. So we could go up, down, and then left, right. Okay, so I know a lot of people probably more comfortable throwing the elbow this way. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, but throwing the elbow this way is not as common. So just because of that, and I don't want you guys to forget about it, let's do the elbow this way and this way. Okay, so this way, instead of this, which is much more common, and this. Both of those are more common. So let's go this way and this way instead, okay, just so you remember. So please get some repetitions. Once again, let's move around. Even though in close range, you're going to be here. You're not going to be moving around like that. But let's just move around just to get the body warmed up, okay? And I want you guys to be going 2, 3, 4, okay? And then same here, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So please get some repetitions that way, okay? And now let's go ahead and move on to the next part. The next part is these 4 right here, okay? These 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the curriculum for Eskrima, Kali, Arnis. This is the basic curriculum. It doesn't matter what style of Eskrima, Kali, or Arnis, they're pretty much going to follow this, okay? Now some schools or some instructors may divide this up into 2 or 3 sections, okay? Or they might combine sections together. So instead of 4, they might have 8, or they can only have 3. Okay, it just depends. But still, it doesn't change that this is the general idea that is going to be used for your Filipino martial arts curriculum. A of A is your angles of attack. AW is arm weaving. IT is independent techniques. CRT is close range techniques. Okay. So let's start with the angles of attack, which is the first one. All right, so for the angles of attack, what we've been doing is the 5 angles of attack, which I really, really like. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Okay, so it goes diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and stab. Okay, so I'm going once again. Right, the weapon is in the right hand, right side is forward, left hand should be around here, okay, right in front of the heart, not just paying attention, dangling right here. No, it should be right here. If not, it's helping, okay? So for those of you that you don't know how to help, just keep it right here, okay? So from right here, diagonal, diagonal. So it's diagonal down, you made an X, and then it's now sideways, sideways, and then it's a stab. The stab is in the center of the body, and it could be low, middle, or high, okay? As long as it's in the center of the body. So that's your 5 angles of attack. You guys already know that. A lot of you probably already know that. What I want you guys to focus on, right, is to make it smooth, very smooth. And in order to do that, we don't want to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then stop, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want it to be continuous, continuous, so that the order doesn't matter anymore. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. There's no beginning and there's no end, okay? So there's several ways to do that, okay? And one of the easiest is probably just to try to keep a consistent timing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. You see, I try to be consistent that way, and that way there is no beginning and no end. Another way to do it is to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here, right after 5, you do your stab right here, and as it comes back, you're going to do an outside circle that takes you back into number 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you see that outside circle takes me back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So the idea here is no matter what form that you're practicing, what angles of attack form that you do, is the last move and then connecting it with the first move to make that a smooth process. I want you guys to really focus on that, and please do that for like 3 minutes. Okay, once again, 3 minutes is 1 round in boxing. I think it's a good amount. If you could get to 5 minutes, even better, or 10 minutes, even better. But let's first start with 3 minutes, and once again, if that's hard, just go for 1 minute. Okay, so yeah. The next one, let's go to arm weaving. So what's the difference between angles of attack and arm weaving? Well, angles of attack is one weapon. Arm weaving is two, okay? So the one that I want to cover for you guys today is, of course, the most famous arm weaving is Heaven 6, right? That technique is the most famous. It's a little bit hard for a lot of people. So let's go with the 4 count drill, which is, since it's 4 instead of 6, it's a little bit easier, okay? So starting position is the same as Heaven 6. It's over and under position. So one arm is on top, the other arm's on the bottom. And then from here, you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? And it takes you back to the same starting position. So it's just 4 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? That's all it is. Well, I'm going to slow it down for you guys, so don't worry. But first, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so as you can see, it definitely starts to flow. Okay, so right here from this starting position, you're just going to go 1 all the way, 2 all the way, and then from right here, you're just going to go diagonal down and diagonal down, and it takes you back to the starting position. So 1, 2, okay? So we just basically went sideways, okay? And here, now I'm in a parallel sticks position, right here, like this. And then now, the last 2 right here, number 3 comes diagonally down, and it comes up here. That's where it parks. And then number 4 comes diagonally down, following number 3, but it ends on the bottom here, okay? Because that's the only space that's left. So it comes right here in the bottom. And then we finish. So 1, 2, sideways. It doesn't have to be sideways, but it's easier to learn that way right now. So sideways, sideways, diagonal down, and it parks at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So if you do that with empty hand, okay? So the bad guy, Stickman, is going to hit me in the face right here. So I'm going, whoa, what the hell, man? Chill out, right? So this is already, see, this position already is my over and under position. So I'm going, hey, bro, chill out, man. Okay? And they throw a punch right here, then boom, this comes up here, boom, like this. So this punch is coming right here, boom, right here. This is already my 1, 2, okay? Number 3, and then number 4, and it takes me back to here. So let me show you guys that again. So from here going, hey man, hey, I don't want any trouble, to boom, right here. 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? And then 3, see, 3 is 3, boom, and then here's 4. 4 could be here, but 4. Or you could turn your wrist, boom. And that's my number 4. It takes me back to the same starting position. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So the arms crossed, we like this. I know some styles say don't cross your arms. Well, there's pros and cons to every technique, and you know, it's about knowing how to utilize your own style the best way that you can. So when we cross the arms, this is a nice shield for us, or if we could even catch an arm when we cross, that's great too. If I actually catch an arm, that's awesome. And if I don't, then this is just a thicker shield for me, and I could even use that to cause a shock right there. So I like the crossing of arms. In Filipino martial arts, we cross the arms a lot, and we like this. We like this, okay? So anyway, that is the arm weaving portion. So please, once again, for 3 minutes, practice that. I recommend first with the sticks, with empty hands. It is a lot harder, I think, for a lot of people. So practice with the sticks. The sticks exaggerate your motions, okay? So they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so please practice with the sticks. So next one is your independent technique. So independent technique, what is the difference between this one and the angles of attack and arm weaving? Well, like I said, the angles of attack is single stick, arm weaving is double stick, or just two hands, right? And then independent technique is a solo technique, a technique by itself, because those other two, angles of attack and arm weaving, those are all combos, right? So if it's a heaven 6, it's 6 moves. It's a combo of 6 techniques put together. And the idea for angles of attack and arm weaving is they want you to flow. They want you to be smooth, right? With an independent technique, it's just, we take it out of that, or it's just the one that doesn't belong in any of those, and we just practice the technique by itself. Why? Because in Filipino martial arts, they found it to be valuable. Okay, so sometimes it's you can find these techniques in the angles of attack and stuff, but we're just practicing it by itself without worrying about being smooth and connected with other techniques. Okay, so the one that I want to talk to you guys today is this one right here, the circular strike. Okay, so I'm holding the stick in the right hand. Right side is to the front, but I'm making the circular motion on the left side of my body, if you notice. I'm not doing it over here, I'm doing it over here on the left side. Okay, so what I want you guys to do here is when you practice this, be careful that you don't clip off your knee, okay, your left knee. You don't want to accidentally hit it. So make sure that you're making these big circles and you know that you're not going to hit your leg, okay? So go ahead, just practice this right here. Boom, boom, nice and big circles. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. It's almost like you're a lion tamer and the bad guy's right here. The bad guy's right here, and you're making these huge motions right here. Boom, 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 right? And you're trying to make them go away, okay? So from here, from these big circles, what I want you guys to do is, right when you come about halfway, right around the halfway point, instead of continuing going all the way full circle, right on a halfway point, you're going to do this. You're going to come here, and then your wrist is just going to do that. See, this motion right here, this motion. That's a very strong motion that your wrist has. Okay, you're coming here, right there. Boom, 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 boom. So what that does is now you're making the circle smaller. It ends, rather than going all the way like this, you're going now here, 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 here. Okay, I'm kind of using the rhythm of this hand to help me. Okay, you don't have to do that, but right here, boom, 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 boom. So you come here, 2, 3. So I'm cutting the circle in half, essentially, rather than going all the way here, all the way here, all the way here. Boom, right here, boom, boom, boom. So they're both good, okay? It's not one's better than the other. They're different, obviously. So if I want to concentrate more on upper body strikes, then this one's better, where I don't need to go all the way down. Why am I going all the way down? Because I'm wasting time. I could be attacked here. But if I want to also possibly attack their leg, then this is to go full circle is a good idea. So they might move out of the way up here, but then I tag them on the leg because I'm making a full motion. Then that comes in handy. But if I just want to make it quicker up here, then I want to be cutting that circle much shorter, okay? So please practice that, okay, for 3 minutes. Once again, have fun with that and feel the difference, okay? You should have both in your arsenal. All right, so the next and last one, number 4, is the CRT, close range techniques, okay? So CRT, close range techniques, The one that was really groundbreaking for me was in the 90s. In the 90s, when I saw a Paul Vunak instructional video. Okay, so Sensei Paul Vunak showed something called an arm wrench. Okay, so this is my opponent's arm right here. Okay, and then you're gonna do a wrap around it. So that's an overhook, and then you're just going to boom. You're gonna strike like you're throwing an uppercut. In fact, he actually says in the video that you can do an uppercut. You know, so you wrench his arm and hit him if you can. Why not? So he says, go for it. Okay. So, but the main idea here is to do this to their arm. It's called an arm wrench in JKD, right? So that technique was a big eye-opener for me, all right? And what I did after that, and many years later, what I did was I got all the techniques in CR, close range, okay, all the joint lock techniques in CR, and I arranged them that way. In what way? In a way that even though that is the arm wrench, is a joint lock, right? Even though it's a joint, I'm attacking the joint, the elbow. Okay, I'm attacking his elbow by doing this. The way I'm doing it is different from the way I do a submission on the ground. How is it different? It's more dynamic here. I'm striking it, okay? So that's not the same as on the ground where I'm going like this and I'm trying to tap him out. And I'm squeezing, I'm using leverage and I'm trying to tap him out. That's not how this is working. I'm doing this, so he doesn't have time to tap, right? And it may or may not snap, but it doesn't matter. I'm putting shock into that, and I might do it repeatedly, okay? So it's done very differently. It's even though it's a joint lock, and on the ground they also do joint locks and chokes, but the way they do joint locks and chokes is very different from this arm wrench. So, and why is that? The reason is because close range and ground range are two different ranges. So they have different characteristics, different personalities. So once I understood that, like I said, all of my joint locks that I do here in standing are done dynamically like the arm range. So because that's a good place to start, you know, I want you guys to practice that, okay? So from here, this guy comes at me, I wrap around his arm, and I go boom, right here, okay? So, right here. If the arm slips out, that's fine. It doesn't matter, okay? I could grab onto the arm and do the same thing, boom, right here. This is still an arm wrench. So I grab here, and I'm using my bicep, my chest area to slam onto the arm, and the result is the same thing. I am wrenching his arm. Boom, boom, okay. So if it slips out, you could go like that. If it doesn't slip out, boom, boom. If you can land an uppercut, fine. And so if he grabs me deep, I wrench his arm, okay? It does this, it straightens out his arm, boom. But if we're not in super deep, then this can happen. This can happen to his arm. So I'm doing this, you see? So I'm doing this to the guy. So if this happens, then that's fine. I can repeatedly do this, okay? If I could grab a hold over here and do that, that's going to be very painful onto the guy. Or I could push up this way. But you see, I'm not going, let me try to submit this guy. These are all very dynamic. I'm striking at his arm. Boom, boom, bam, 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 bam. See, I'm cranking. I am really going to town on it very dynamically. Okay, so that's not the way submissions are done on the ground. And, you know, once again, that's because the ground is a lot more stable. And then up here in close range, things have to be more dynamic because it's not as stable. Okay, just watch something like judo. They don't throw slow. The throws they're done pretty fast. So that's about as much time as you're gonna get. So I have to do the joint lock about the same speed as the throw. So boom, like that, okay? So the other thing, so if it's deep, it's a straight arm lock, boom, boom. If it gets a little bit further away, then it's a bent arm, but it's still the same thing. You're still cranking on the arm. And if it gets far away, right here, which is one of the things that I really do want in Filipino martial arts, is I'm now cranking onto the wrist. So his wrist is now doing this. His wrist is going like that. And I want that, okay? So from here, I just moved away to where it's here. And if he's holding a weapon, it'll be easier. If his hand's like this, it's easier for me now to do the disarm. And that's what I want. So this is your arm wrench. It's the same idea here. Same right here on the wrist to get the disarm. So please, I want you guys to practice that. So from here, you're on the inside. You're going to wrap around their arm and crank, crank, crank right there, okay? Now, one of the things here is as I do this, I might push on their face to give me the distance. Because for them to defend against this technique, they just need to come in. If they come in like this, I can't do that arm wrench anymore, okay? But if this does happen, if they get in close to me, this is when I start going to town. I start grinding on the face, okay? So that's just gives you the overall strategy there. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.